What is up everyone, Astronaut here, and welcome back to my modded Minecraft series. Since last time, I've been doing a bit of work, getting a bit more brass. I've gotten 11 blocks of brass and then 7 additional ingots. I haven't crafted anything with it yet. Rotational speed controller is probably one of the first things I'm going to want to craft with that. As well as the jetpack like we said last time. But there's currently one problem, and that's I'm kind of outgrowing this little space. It's been nice for what it is, but I really do need more space, especially for workshop type things with the crate mod, and then expanding more into Farmer's Delight. This is not really going to be enough of a kitchen, and then storage is getting really cramped as well, so there's just a lot of things that I'd rather have a lot more space in. And to do that, we need to create ourselves our own starter base. And yes, I know this is technically our starter base, but at this point in time, most people will build the first main base that they've designed and call it their starter base, even though, yeah, it kind of isn't. We do need to actually make a list of materials. And I got myself a clipboard here that I'm going to be using to check those items off, but I think before that, I need to make myself a schematic cannon and a schematic table. So I got myself the materials that I'm going to need to make both of these. Obviously, we have the dispenser, so we need to make a dropper. Then we need to make the dispenser, and then make the schematic cannon itself. And then for the table, we've got this. So I do need to make myself a schematic as well, which shouldn't be too bad, just paper and light blue dye. And we got ourselves an empty schematic now. So I'm going to go out here, and I don't know where I want to build this. I'm not entirely sure yet. I think I'm going to build it in this general direction. Definitely somewhere close enough to the village, but not as close as that building was. I might want to actually build it up here. I do like this area here, and it's relatively flat. That was a creeper. What are you doing here? Well, that's comforting. Anyway, I was planning on building it somewhere up here. I'm not entirely sure where yet, but I think maybe somewhere around here could be nice. It's relatively flat. We got the mountains back there. So either somewhere about here, and then there's also another village off in this direction here as well. So it would be pretty good in that regard as well. Yeah, I think this area is pretty nice actually, and I do want to give myself just a bit of room, so if I want to build something else behind here. So I think I'm just probably going to build it down here in this flat area here. Maybe somewhere around here is probably good. So I'm not going to set everything up here, but I am going to set up the schematic cannon. There we go, perfect. And I'll just take this out because I don't really need it showing it yet. So that should be everything, and then I just have my list of materials that I'm now going to need in order to make this whole project, and that's probably going to require a bit of resource gathering. I mean, it definitely is. I haven't gathered any of the resources yet, but before we do that, I do want to make myself one specific thing that's probably going to be super useful in the future. And the one thing that I wanted to make before I got started was a tool belt, so I can store all of my tools in one inventory slot, and it'll be a lot more useful. Unfortunately, I'll need to make belt pouches as well, which I probably don't have enough resources for too many of. Yeah, I need to get more leather, but I can actually turn rotten flesh into leather using rock salt, and you can grind the rock salt into normal salt, and then just combine that with rotten flesh to make leather. So I'm just going to be going and grinding a bunch of this stuff to make as much leather as I can, so that we can go ahead and make these. The great thing about modded Minecraft is it cuts down on the mining, but it definitely adds quite a bit to the crafting. And I still need to have a bit more XP to upgrade this a little more. But I think we're good for now. We can put this on the slot there, and we actually get a little belt on here as well. And then if I go into R, I can insert that, and then insert that, and then insert that as well. And then I can just go through and swap out these different things. So that's pretty cool. I think I can also do this with the wrench as well. There we go. So I can basically just have as many tools as I need in there, and I really don't need the extra pouch at this point, so I'll just set it up here for later in my definitely organized storage system where sure, why not. But yeah, there's definitely not enough room in here anymore. I'm really running out, but I have nowhere to put it, like I said. So Yeah, we should probably address that at some point. And there was actually one other thing that I wanted to make while I was still here, and that is actually a magnet. And I think I talked about this last time. You can use the magnetite that we found and combine that to make okay, I thought it was that recipe. I guess it's not. There we go. But basically, this allows you to drop an item on the ground, and it just comes right back to you. It's a little glitchy sometimes, but overall, it does the trick. So we're going to be using that from now on, and that's hopefully going to make our job a lot easier. So as long as it's in our inventory and active, it will actually allow us to pick up items from a radius around on the ground, so that's pretty useful. All right, with my checklist in hand of 26 pages of items, I think we're about ready to go out and start resource gathering for my new starter base. So let's do this.
Well, I spent way too much time gathering way too many resources, and now I only have one more thing left to do before we have all the materials for our new house. And that is, unfortunately, rotational speed controllers. And the recipe for rotational speed controllers, their create component is brass casings, which I did make off camera, and then precision mechanisms, which, yeah, there's a lot going on here. So basically you have to get golden sheets and then apply cogwheels, large cogwheels, and iron nuggets 5 times, and then you'll get an 80% chance of even getting one. So I've got here a little setup. I've taken away some of these because I'm going to be using them for the new house, but okay, that's wrong. There we go. Basically, I should be able to just place one of my golden sheets down here, and then just go in here with the small cogwheel, the large, and the iron nugget, and just alright, it looks like it's working. And there we go, a precision mechanism, and we can combine that with the brass casing and get a rotational speed controller. So I just need to do that 2 more times basically, and then we should be good to go. Now I do have to actually figure out where I want to place this house when I build it here. Well, I guess you don't need, you didn't see that at all. No spoilers here. But I don't know entirely where I want to place this house currently. I know I want to place it somewhere around here. I just need to choose a location for the schematic cannon to actually generate the list of materials needed. I'm trying to figure out where the best place around here would be, because I do want it to be a little bit higher in the back than in the front, because I'm planning on having like a water wheel come out of the side, and that would be nice to be able to, you know, have like little area where the water flows over, and then just to make it a lot more convenient for adding on like a storage room and stuff. So I may actually build a little further over here. I'm trying to think what would be the best. Or I could also build it over here. This is a little further away. Actually, if I go into free cam mode for a second, you can see where it is. There's this lake down here, and then you just got a bunch of open space here. This might be a really great place for a house, just like right here. I think they haven't loaded in yet, but I'm pretty sure there are more mountains over there. I think that actually might be a really cool backdrop for a base. Okay, so I think I decided on a final location is here for our new base. This isn't entirely pointing in the right direction, but it's basically going to be right here. So I've got the schematic cannon ready. It's full of gunpowder. I've got a bit of extra if we need it, and we can just go ahead and start running it. Well guys, it's finished. After many hours of hard manual labor with no assistance from any contraptions whatsoever, the house has been completed. Grand reveal. There it is. The most steampunk of steampunk houses ever to have existed. I've actually got the whole interior done as well. There was an issue where it did not replace the air blocks, so it was full of grass, and I had to mine all that out and place some extra blocks in. And the schematic canon also didn't entirely copy every block over correctly, so I'd have to go back and fix a few things. I think there are about 50 blocks I had to fix overall, but I'm very happy with the way it turned out. This is pretty much how I envisioned it, pretty much how the schematic was. There's a couple changes. I think I had tea bags up here, which I haven't gotten, or I mean sacks of tea. That makes more sense. But I haven't really made tea yet. And then there's just a couple other things. But overall, this is pretty much how it's going to go. And obviously you can see all these are spinning in already. And that's because out here, I've actually got the water wheel all set up. And it looks like there's a couple other blocks that I will need to replace at some point, but I don't really feel like doing that right now. But yeah, I'll show you the rest of the house inside. It's pretty good, I think. It's probably gonna be really useful. Everything in here works, so this isn't just like a steampunk design. Actually, this here will allow you to drain items and then fill them up. So if I have, for instance, crying obsidian, I can drain it into here and then get myself a bunch of the, they're not recall potions, bottled dimensional tears from the spelunkery, and then I can just teleport back to my spawn point whenever I need to. In here, I've got some of the chipped tables, so the mason table, the glass blower table, and then the carpenter's table, and some extra storage as well. And then obviously some crate things like the press and the deployer, just a clipboard with some things on it. And then the main floor here, I'm actually really happy with. So I've got these shelves here, which are kind of some bookshelves with some other stuff on them. We got the hourglass, you got this guy, the statue, and these, I'm trying to make it look kind of like an encyclopedia. These are actually from the books that I found in like the ancient mines and everything. So hopefully I'll make myself a huge library of all sorts of books that I've collected throughout this world, which could be fun in the future. Then we got our bell here on our clock tower, or our grandfather clock, that's what it is. And then in here in the kitchen is one of my favorite parts. We've got the kitchen table with the apple pie, and then the full kitchen here. We got some spice racks that you can actually put stuff in. We've got the sink, we got the oven, we've got the stove, and everything is just looking really good. I need to still put a couple of cookbooks up there, which are just normal books. But there should be enough in here to get started with some additional things like Farmer's Delight and everything. And then we have the bedroom, obviously. I'm probably going to put a pet bed in here. I don't know what sort of pet I'm going to get yet. Probably a cat or something. But we also got a little desk. Obviously, you can't really use it, but, you know, it's nice to sit down at. And then upstairs is actually really important. We've got quite a few things up here. We got some more crate stuff, which isn't going because that's powered by the windmill, which I haven't turned on. And then an enchanting setup here. We've got the enchanting infuser. And then over here, I've got a little room with nothing really in it, just a room. And then this is another room kind of similar to that, but actually goes out into this balcony here. And you can just stand on the balcony, watch the sunset, do whatever. I may put like a little airship dock here once I've got the immersive aircraft mod going. And I do need to actually get my windmill started up. So let's do that real quickly. I also have a crane on the back side here, which I also need to start up. But we can do that afterwards. So windmill, there we go. Windmill bearings on. And now I can just come right back down here. Everything should be working, yes. I did want to get this going, so I was trying to break this singular block so I could come down here and see how much I can rotate this by. I think 25 degrees might be nice. Let's go into free cam mode here. I want to rotate it clockwise, so this little hangover is there. So let's just do that. And there we go. Look at that. That looks a lot better now. But yeah, so this house is now finished. Unfortunately, I haven't brought all my stuff over from the old house, so I'm going to have to do that now. But I do have a bunch of crates and everything, so I can use these crates to bring back everything that I need to. But let's real quickly just sleep in this bed for the first time ever. Alright, so I'm probably going to leave some of these things in this house just because, I mean, I might come back here or something. I did take the bookshelves, as you can see, but I might just leave. You know what? I'm not going to leave these. I want to use these. Let's get this cake cut up, and or the pie. I'll bring the pie with me. And then, yeah, there's probably a few other things. I might as well bring this, however you get it. There we go. And then a few other things I'll need to bring. I don't really have room for all these things yet, but I definitely need to bring them. Oh no. So it turns out the crates don't actually hold their contents when you break them like a shulker box, which I thought they did. Or either that or I'm doing something wrong. So I think for now I'm just gonna use the backpacks and then just go ahead and break everything and then just, you know, fill up the backpacks with whatever I can get. Well, the house has been cleared up and there's pretty much nothing left actually. I ended up deciding to take everything, leaving it even barer than it was when I found it. So everything is basically gone. I did not get everything from the backyard yet. I still have to harvest all my crops. But once I've gotten that, everything should be ready to be transferred over to the new house. And the last thing to take is all the create mechanics and everything that are on the side of the house. And then I can just, you know, take the water and leave it like that. I do have these cows in here, which I was planning on doing something with before I remember that I was also planning on moving. But I think there's a solution to this. Problem. So I've double checked and triple checked everything and everything looks pretty much empty. And I mean, it's not like I can't come back here if I did forget something, because it's literally one waystone away, and I'm probably going to keep the nether portal here for just now. So I think we're ready to head right on back to the new house. Now, unfortunately, this is the scenario I'm now stuck with, which is a ton of different blocks that are all just filled to the brim with stuff that I need and nowhere to put them. So I honestly think I might go ahead and get a Tom Simple storage setup created. All right, so I've crafted myself up a crafting terminal, an inventory connector, and some trims from the storage drawers mod. I'm not sure if those will work or not, but I think here's probably a good place to build the actual storage system. I'm probably just going to go in here and actually I do have vein mining on here. Let's just mine all that out. And then there's a lot of room back here, so I can just kind of add a bunch of chests and stuff. I don't want to get too close to the surface, but I can add quite a bit of storage back here and then just go back in later and, you know, add in more if I need to. But I think this is probably a good start. I do need a couple torches just to light everything up. So now I need to figure out where everything is going to be going in here. Obviously, the actual inventory connector has to be here so I can access it. And then I should probably leave the spot open so I can get in and out. Probably take the storage drawers and just put them here so that gives me a good way to access them if I really need to, but then also allows me to expand in that direction. And I think I should be able to, if I stick a chest here, if I place something in there, I can probably now access it through here, right? Should probably just put up the crafting terminal just so I know. Yes, I can. Okay, excellent. So this should probably be enough just to get started. If I need to, I can always add more because I really don't need to access these super often. But I think in order to get the items in here, I'm just going to put them in here like this and then just see where they end up, I guess. All right, I think I've got everything set up now and I've transferred everything into there. So at this point, I can just go into this crafting terminal and then take out whatever I need. So if I need, I don't know, pork chops, there we go. 86 cooked pork chops, 2 raw pork chops, and then it just gives me every item that I have access to in this little area, which is pretty handy. But I think this thing is going to make everything a lot more quick and easy to just work with so that I can, you know, be more effective with my time and spend more of it actually doing things aside from looking through chests and trying to figure out how to craft things. So that's pretty much the final piece of the puzzle for this house. There is, however, one additional thing that I would like to add, and that is right here. I do not have a pet, and I would really, really, really like to have a pet. And there we go, red bed. Perfect. So I don't really know what sort of pet I'm looking for. I just want to have something that's going to stay here with me because that would be kind of fun. So I got a pet bed already and set up, and I think next time we're probably going to go out and find a pet to occupy that bed. So let me know in the comments what sort of pet I should look for, if I should get a cat or a dog, or actually I think you can get a bunch of other animals in this mod pack. So let me just know what sort of animal you think I should have as my pet, and I may or may not end up doing that. But before we go, there's actually one other thing that we usually have to get done before the end of the episode, and that's actually the comment of the day. So I do plan on continuing doing this just from here on this lectern, my little desk here. Last episode, so we had a comment that said, here's my petition to name the blaze burner Calcifer by AON235. And I don't think you can actually name blaze burners, but we can just call this guy for now Calcifer. I mean, it's kind of obvious that's who he's based after, but yeah, I don't think we can actually name him. If there's a way to name him, I'll try to do that. But with that, it is actually time to conclude this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And I will see you all in the next episode. Have a good day, and goodbye.